welcome to another episode of Faith on Film. What we have for you today is 4 more interviews with Christian filmmakers that attended the ICVM Storytellers Conference. So without taking any more time, let's go right to them.
With me is a special guest, and I say that because I have known this man for a long time. In fact, he taught my kids Sunday school years ago when both of us were doing different things in the business. Chris Bueno with
Ocean Avenue Entertainment.
And Chris has been in the business for a long time in different facets. What are you doing now that you've kind of moved into for the last few years that is satisfying you and making you happy and feel like you're doing something for the kingdom?
Well, as you know, a number of years ago at ICVM, I met Alex Kendrick, who had a little film called Face of the Giants, a few scenes on his laptop. And he's like, I want to put this out in theaters, and way back when, it took a few months, but we ended up representing them, and so that all started at ICVM.
That really did.
It did.
It started at ICVM.
Yeah, but things have changed. So back then it was okay. It's like these movies that are faith and what I would call more overtly faith-based films, which are incredible. And Sony ended up distributing it, which is amazing. But, over the course of the years, more and more movies have come out.
Yes.
I would say that back then it was a completely underserved audience. Mm-hmm. And now, you can't really say that. Now, you could say that it's underserved by the bigger budget types of movies, but there are a lot of movies, and when you come here, you see how many there are, right?
That's so true.
So, so for me, it transitioned, and then, 10 years ago, I could see Netflix was becoming kind of the thing, and so thankfully was able to establish a relationship with them, which has continued, and yet Netflix has become huge, so it's more and more difficult to find something that they want because they feel like they have everything, but they're still acquiring movies that can have a real faith message too. But, if you say, what am I looking for now? It's more like the movies that are out there that really need to find an audience. And so the most recent one that I just got the rights to is the movie called The Way, which is directed by Emilio Estevez, and his dad is in it, which is a great movie, and we're going to rebrand it and get it back out there. So just finding those types of movies.
And I didn't want to diminish what you were doing back when you were a Sunday school teacher for my son. You've always been in the business for years and years and years, and you started off, videography, doing things, and then working through, starting to produce your own projects, and then, like you said, then getting attached to Facing the Giants and kind of moving up the different level. But you produced your own movies as well, and kind of run the whole gamut. So you know the business, and you know how hard it is to get a film made, to get it financed. I mean, you have done all of it. So I think that's in consideration of projects today. You're probably looking at all of that, aren't you? Is what went into it, Yeah,
I would say just recently we started to look for films that potentially we could, get some funding for. Not that our company does that, but there are networks out there like UpTV, GAC, PureFlix, of course, that are looking for content.
Yes.
So we're just now starting to go, you know what, instead of it just being finished films, maybe we can find some films. And what we look for are those films we would call more faith forward in their message.
Yes.
It's not faith soft,
yes,
or, take a little faith and sprinkle it on it. It's more, the story is all integral. If you have a character or two that are Christian, how do they live their life? The struggles, the challenges, the triumphs, those types of things, right? Versus just like, okay, here's a romantic comedy, and we want it to be faith, so let's put a little faith in there. No, it's more the whole story. How does your faith, play out? So that's it.
And there are bigger budgets like Redeeming Love. They spent a lot of money. It was a bigger project film, but it just didn't catch on at the box office, and it was that hard. I loved it personally. I felt like it was a story that, with the theme and the topic, it hit it right. Yeah. And but the Christian audience is so hard, Chris, I think sometimes, to sell to, because either that's like, no, that's too much for us, or that's, you said a curse word, or you said something. How do you balance it for what you're looking for and for what some of these networks want?
Yeah, it can be challenging, and I think the difference between the Facing the Giants days, which is now 15, 16 years ago, and now is that we have become more sophisticated.
Right.
The Christian audience is more sophisticated. So movies like, like those types of movies where they have pretty big budgets, it's like, okay, we're not, those are not unusual things.
Right.
I would say for us, what we're trying to find are those movies that are a little bit, maybe they push the envelope a little bit. I mean, The Way is a movie that presents a real powerful message of the father that really connects with his faith. But along the journey that they take in the movie, there's a couple people smoke pot. Now, they're not Christian.
Right.
There's a few swear words. Well, those will probably not work on PureFlix. But there's a huge audience out there looking for something that really touches their soul. Right, so I think we're willing to kind of take a little bit more of a risk with those kinds of movies, and as long as at the end of the day you feel like you were uplifted, that there was something really redemptive about it, that's what we look for.
Is it somewhere in between Paul's Promise and Father Stew? I mean, I'm using two examples, but they had things in them, each of them.
Yeah.
And yet, two different budgets, obviously, and stars and people like that.
Right.
But
I think definitely Father Stew. And again, I think we talked about this. The fact that it was rated R because of the language. At first, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's going to stop so many people from watching it, which is true. But when you do watch it, you realize, boy, I don't know how I would have told the story without it being what it was.
It had to be in there.
So, and you have to realize it's just not gonna, there's just a lot of people aren't gonna see it. Mm-hmm. I think that if you can find a story where you don't have to have it be that kind of language, mm-hmm. right? And yet still be really, just a real truthful, hitch in the gut kind of film, I think that would be fine too, right? If you could find those.
Dallas Jenkins has the analogy for the Chosen series, and the way he first started and got it was, he goes, how am I going to reach all these people? How am I going to minister? And he goes, someone sent him a text or something that said, you just have to provide the loaves and fishes. It's up to God to do the rest. And I really love that analogy and really thinking that when I was doing a radio show back in the day in KKLA in Los Angeles, I remember saying, what movie won you to Christ? And I remember this guy called in and said, The Matrix. I'm like, The Matrix? And he goes, well, yeah, I was basically atheist, agnostic atheist, and I saw the movie and loved it, and I wanted to know, well, where's Zion? And someone said, well, it's in the Bible. He goes, okay. So he went to the Bible to look up. He goes, and that I started reading more and more, and that led me to Christ. So I feel like Jesus always went after the one.
Right.
He always went after the one. So sometimes you think, I'm making this big movie and it'll reach so many people.
Yeah.
But what if just the one saw that movie? I know it's financially not the thing that you want as a film, but
I think there's a lot of truth to that. And I remember,
are there a lot of ones out there?
There are. And talk about Sunday school, and remembering back to when I was teaching Sunday school a long time ago to your kids.
Yeah.
But, it's movies like that. And I remember in Sunday school one time to a youth group, I used that movie and they could resonate with it. And you can take the allegory and say, look at this and look how it shows God in the middle of this, pretty cool movie.
Uh-huh.
Right? So those are great films that can really, I think sometimes we think it has to be a faith-based, and it doesn't necessarily. It can be a film that just is so affirming, so uplifting that you feel God and it brings you closer to Him.
Right. One example we used for years, which there have been others now, but Blindside was one of them. I Can Only Imagine was another. I mean, films that, it resonates. I Can Only Imagine was probably more. Blindside was more for the general audience.
Yeah.
Okay, football, but it had that God element in there, but it didn't preach it. It was just in there. And I know we've talked about, well, this is exciting. So you're looking right now at this conference for?
For any movies that may be out there that are looking for how can we get it out to the audience, or actually stories too. There's an author that I just met with in person, but I met with her a couple of weeks ago, and she's got a great script. Right, so I think it would be a great, hoping to find a home for that too. So those are the things, at least right now, that I'm doing.
Well, thank you. It's always so good to see you. I'm
right.
giving him a big hug. Always good to have him on the show here, and always
glad
good
I
to
could
see
be
you.
with you, Holly.
And keep praying for him. He's in California, so keep praying for him because he's out there in the land fighting in the fight. Good to see you.
All right.
Hey, I'm Jared Giese with Angel Studios, and you're watching Faith on Film.
One of the things that really excites me is when I get to meet young people who are not only attending the ICVM Storytellers Conference, but who are actually creating films that are going to impact our culture in a positive way. And I'm sitting here right now with John Graham. John Graham, I got that right?
Yes.
John Graham, and you have produced a film that I just saw the trailer a little while ago. This is the first time we've met, and to me, it looks amazing. You're a very talented young man. What did you do in that film?
Well, I wrote it my junior year of high school, and then I directed it. I acted in it because I couldn't find anybody else. I have an actor friend who was the side character that I gave the more emotional scenes, and then I gave myself the more introverted character. Since I'm not as good of an actor, I thought maybe, if I'm just reserved, that works.
I saw the trailer, and you are a very good actor.
Thank you. So I directed, wrote it, produced it, edited it, did the sound design for it, and scored it. And just did all that.
That's a lot of talent in one young man.
Thank you.
So, okay, can you tell me what the movie is about?
So, the movie's called Backslide, and it's about a high schooler, and he's a very intelligent young man. But his parents, he was raised in a faith-based home, but his parents kind of go a little bit overboard, and that rebellious teenage spirit is just kind of left to soak in there, in his heart, and it kind of turns him off to religion. And the movie opens with him trying so hard to practice for the ACT because he's trying to make his parents proud, and he's just working his tail off. And he finally, his friend, who's a little bit of a bad influence, comes into his life and offers him something that is a complete 180 from the direction he wants his life to go, or his parents want his life to go. And he takes it. And that's the movie. I don't want to give away too much because I haven't really rehearsed this, so I don't want to accidentally spoil anything. But I think that we did a pretty good job with it for a 5-person total cast and crew.
You see, that's what gets me excited too. Is there's a lot of filmmakers out there that will get an idea for a story or a movie they want to make, and then they never make it because they always feel like I don't have everything I need. You didn't let that stop you. You said, "Man, I only have 5 people, but we're going to make this movie," and you have it made. I mean, it's a completed project. It's not out yet. It can't be technically seen yet, but it will be soon, right? How do you have a website or somewhere where people can just kind of follow you and know when the movie's coming out or keep up with it?
Yeah. So we have a Film Freeway page for the movie Backslide. You can go there. That's released to the public. It has the specs on the movie, like the runtime and the genre and all that, and also has some stills from the movie, which are just pictures. And it has my picture, which is my high school senior photo, because it's the most sophisticated picture I've taken so far. And my director's statement, and the log line or slug line, I forget what they call, for the plot in the movie, and the posters up there as well. Now the full movie is, the link to the full movie is technically on that page, but it's only visible to festivals now.
Right.
But yeah, that's just a website where everybody can find more information on it. And then that's pretty much it. There's also the link to the original motion picture soundtrack that my friend and I, Will Maynard, wrote and produced and made. That's on the Film Freeway page as well. So that Film Freeway page is pretty much the Backslide website. I usually just call it the Backslide website.
Okay. Now, is this a story that was inspired by anything personal? I mean, are you that young man that just was like, I got to rebel from this, or or maybe a friend?
It was. We had experienced things in our teenage life that we felt like were kind of universal frustrations, because we went to a private Christian high school in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we kind of felt like a lot of people kind of had the same struggles, but it's nowhere near the level in the movie.
Right.
We
But
kind
it
of
inspired
took, yeah, like there might have been one night that I wanted to go out and hang out with friends, and then my parents said no. But this movie, we kind of took that and we amplified it to 1,000, where the parents are just, you know, we tried to make the parents as uncaring as possible, you know, to really drive the motivation and get the point across. But then when I talk to people about the movie, some people are like, this hits home, this is just like my parents. I'm like, oh gosh.
And that's why I think God put that in your heart to make this movie, because there are a lot of young people that are facing that type of situation, and I think seeing your movie is going to really inspire them to go, you know what, I'm seeing how I'm being driven in the wrong direction, and because of this movie, I'm just going to go ahead and turn myself around. So thank you for listening to the calling of God and doing this thing.
Yeah.
And it's not a movie like your Hallmarky type of movie, right? This is an edgy.
No, it's
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you so much for
Thank you.
for being with me today on the show, and we look forward to seeing where this thing continues. And
Me too.
Definitely, I want to keep up with it. Holly.
Hi, I'm Nick Kutsia from South Africa, and I'm a film composer, and I'm here at this incredible film festival, and you're watching Faith on Film.
With me is Tatum Matthews. She is the new Erin. And I'd say the new because there is an old. On the Walton special, which is premiering November
20th.
That's right,
On the
November
CW.
20th. Oh my gosh, it's the weekend of The Chosen, isn't it? It's this
Yes.
weekend. It's coming out. Oh my
It
gosh.
is. It's so soon.
This is exciting. Okay, now where is it going to come out? Where is it going to come on?
On the CW.
On the CW.
Yes.
And are they going to rerun it or keep airing it several times? Or
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so. And we'll update y'all.
So how many times have you played Erin? Is this your first, or have you done it before?
I have done it before. They've done 2 movies so far, so this was the second.
This is the second.
Yes.
All right. So you're in middle school, correct?
Yes.
Are you the most popular person in your class?
I wouldn't say the most popular, no, but
But how many kids, let's face it, of your friends and peers are in acting?
I mean, I'm probably the only actress, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's fun. What did your friends think when you got the role?
They are really supportive of me and think it's really cool. So
Think it's cool?
Yeah.
Okay, you said I heard you say you had the acting bug when you were like 7, right?
Yes.
Kind of younger.
Yes.
And is it because you watch TV or you watch movies, or did some particular thing inspire you?
So I actually started in dance and took a musical theater class, and I don't know. I think my parents could just instantly tell that I loved it.
Did your parents just think, oh, she's like every kid, she wants to be in acting? Or had you always been the one that was doing the plays and doing the scenes in front of the mirror? Was it kind of something you'd always done?
I think they could just tell instantly from when I started, but it's actually funny because both my parents are engineers, so I'm like kind of just out of the blue, and none of my family does acting, so it's just really odd, but it's something that I've loved since I was really little.
Okay, so for parents that have children, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, that age group, and their kids saying, I want to get into acting, do you have a word for those parents, and do you have a word for kids? Is it hard? Is it easy? Harder than you think? Be real about what it is to be a child actor.
I just will tell you that it is difficult. I mean, it's hard. You have to put a lot of hard work into it, but it's really fun and rewarding. So if you want to do it, I definitely say go for it. And parents, if your kids are going to work hard, just be super supportive, because if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. And I think it's really awesome.
Now, rejection is something a lot of kids have not felt, because I think they've grown up in an era where everyone gets a trophy and it's fair to everyone. But in the acting world, it's not fair to everyone.
No, it is not.
And not everybody gets the prize.
That is very true.
So how did you deal with rejection, or have you always gotten the roles you went out for?
No, I've definitely not. Rejection is a very real and hard thing. I've handled it since I was 7, and I guess I've just kind of gotten used to it by this point, but I just always trust that it's in God's timing and it's in His plan, and I just know that, and I think I just keep that in the back of my mind anytime I get upset over rejection, but it's definitely really hard to deal with. So.
And disappointment. I heard you talk about how you were up for The Sound of Music, and who wouldn't be excited about being in that and touring with that and doing that, and all of a sudden then COVID hits, and all of a sudden that thrill, that joy, that excitement of something you got is taken from you. And you talk about that, how you had to kind of deal with those emotions with God and go, wait, that's not fair, what happened?
Yeah, I was definitely confused and a little bit frustrated at Him, because I had just gotten something that I'd worked really hard for, and then it was just taken away. So I was definitely disappointed, but I just know that He has something better and there's something in the future, so I was okay with it. It took a second to get better and okay with, but I just kept auditioning, and then the Waltons came up, and I'm really grateful for it.
So would you say that at first what was a disappointment and you thought had been robbed of something was actually God's protection for something that he had better in mind for you that you couldn't see at the time?
I definitely realized that. I was not getting the full picture, but now I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, God, because this is definitely for the better, and I just couldn't be happier.
And those are life lessons everyone can learn, right? No matter how old you are.
Yeah.
We all have that happen in life.
Yes.
Okay, quick fire. Favorite actress?
Oh, that's so hard. Probably Amanda Seyfried. She's amazing.
Who?
Amanda Seyfried.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Kid actor?
Tatum O'Neal. I'm named after her.
You are?
Yeah.
You're Tatum O'Neal?
Yeah.
I want my $200. You know
that line? We didn't know about the acting thing, that I would be into it, but it works out so funny.
Paper Moon,
he's amazing.
one of my classic.
So good.
And I quoted that line. I want my $200 and I want Tatum O'Neal. I love
yes.
Her. Okay, favorite male actor?
Oh, that's so hard. Tom Hanks. What a classic.
What a classic. Pop star?
Pop star.
Like Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber?
Taylor Swift for sure. She's amazing.
Is she amazing? Do you like Justin Bieber?
I do. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Okay. Favorite Christian music?
Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on their name.
For King and Country? No?
I love them. For King and Country's great. It's... Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on the name. There's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones. But it's like, well, there's so many. Brandon Lake is really good right now.
Yes.
He's had some really phenomenal.
Great. Yeah.
And then Jeremy Riddle just did one that came out. I love. Have you heard his latest one?
Yeah.
The latest one, Jeremy Riddle, like Your Name is Jesus.
Yeah.
I love that.
So good.
It so moves you.
So good.
Okay. So do you listen to music when you're prepping for a role or getting ready to go on camera? Do you listen to anything to inspire you?
I definitely try to work in worship music to my daily routine because I just feel like it's like, I normally do it in the morning because it's a good start to your morning, but I'm obsessed with worship music and country. I love country and musical theater, of course.
You love country.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you from or what town do you live in?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay, so you're Floridian.
I am.
As you said earlier.
Yes.
So, okay, what is a role that you want to do that you kind of thought, I always want to do this kind of a role? What would it be?
I love the Waltons and I love everything about that role. Like, that was really just perfect. I kind of want to be in something like really different, like a drama maybe. Just something different. I just want to be diverse in everything I do.
And you like Amanda Seyfried, Romeo and Juliet. Remember the Juliet letters? Oh, Letters to Juliet.
I just watched that. That was incredible.
Was that a great movie?
I loved it. I watched it on the plane.
Yeah. I love Letters to Juliet. That was a good one for her. So, okay, so maybe later on a romance, but for right now.
But I also love Mamma Mia. Like, I'd totally be down to do a musical movie. That would be so cool.
Can you sing?
Yes.
You can sing.
Yeah.
The woman of many talents here. I tell you that, girl. Tatum, you've been a joy. Thank you so much for being with me. We love having you on Faith on Film. Isaac, to you.
Hi, I'm Paul Sermons, the president of ICVM, and you are watching Faith on Film.
You know, one of the fun things about being here at ICVM is getting to run into people that you see every once in a while, and I'm especially excited right now because who I have with me right now is actually the past president of ICVM in a long time. I mean, he's been at ICVM for many, many years, but even more than that, you're working with The Chosen now, aren't you? This is Jared Giese.
Yes.
Jared, tell us about that.
Yes. So I lead distribution for Angel Studios, and so Angel Studios is the studio behind The Chosen.
Right.
The Chosen is its own production company. We love Dallas and everything that he's doing there, and The Chosen is kind of like the way House of Cards was to Netflix.
Right.
The Chosen is for Angel Studios, and so it's our flagship streaming show, and we're just so thrilled. I think we had a media analyst look at all of our data, and The Chosen has reached just over 100 million people worldwide now. So we're about 10% of the way towards the goal of reaching 1 billion people with the authentic Jesus. And so we're so thrilled just with the audience's responses. We're in theaters. I think this is our second day, so we'll see how this goes for the opening of season 3. And it's just this amazing show. So hopefully, if you haven't seen it, download the Angel Studios app.
Yes.
So, I think you've had some of the Chosen crew on your past episodes. So.
Yeah, we just did a couple episodes.
Thanks for spreading the word.
We were invited exclusively to the new studios there in Midlothian.
Midlothian, yeah. The set is amazing.
Oh, it looked amazing, and so we did all these interviews. Well, Holly did all these interviews with some of the stars of the movie, and it was fantastic. Now, before doing the shows, I wanted to make sure that I knew what we were talking about there. So I binged watched on season 2. I had already seen season 1, I don't know, last year or something. And I'm like, well, let me watch season 2. And I couldn't just watch one. It was like 2 in the morning, and I'm okay, just one more, just one more. It's amazing. I love what they've done with the characters to actually give them personalities. Because most Christian movies, you know, it's the various people, but they don't really have a personality. And one of my favorite characters, of course, is Matthew.
Oh yeah,
I love Matthew. It's like it's just fantastic.
He's really featured, especially in the first two episodes of season 3. So you're gonna love.
I can't wait to see that. So obviously they're doing several more seasons. I mean, it's not going to end at season 3, is it?
No, there are 7 seasons planned.
7 seasons.
And with the new set now in place, there shouldn't be the delays that we had with season 3.
Right.
So I think the plan is to have 1 season per year.
Right. Now we miss you as, you know, the president here, or seeing you. You're not here
Paul
as
Sermon's
much.
doing an amazing
He's doing
job. So.
an incredible job. This has been the best. Well, I shouldn't say that because now I'm saying that, but this is we're growing.
We're all on the board. We're glad to support this amazing organization.
This has just been the most attended one that we've had.
Yeah.
I think it was 235 or so.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I know that you can't be here as much as because you're very busy. So we miss you.
It's been a roller coaster, and it's to hang on for the ride. But you know, I'm just so grateful to be able to be a part of an amazing show like that. And really, Angel Studios' mission is to tell stories that amplify light. And so The Chosen is just one of many other shows. We've got a new show called The Wingfeather Saga that's created by Andrew Peterson, based off the best-selling book that's coming out in December in the Angel Studios app. We got movies like The Shift that's coming, that's just about to go into production. We have The Tuttle Twins. We've got Jungle Beat. We have a new movie called David that is in production. It's going to be a massive animated film. It's a couple years out, but everything Angel does is crowd-funded. And so we really believe in the wisdom of the crowd, and we're making the shows that people want to see, and that's how The Chosen started. Dallas started with just The Shepherd, and we took it to the crowd, and 19,000 people invested $10 million in season 1 to create that. And so all of our shows are going through that. So we're just starting to tell the world about the rest of the shows that are at Angel, and we hope to create a whole model that creates many more Chosen-like shows.
It's a great model. Well, thanks for taking a little time to come with us. I know that everybody here wants to talk to you because you're with Angel Studios. So I'll let you go ahead and go on out and continue.
Yeah, I'll just give a plug. If you're a creator and you're interested in getting your content on Angel Studios, you can submit it to the Angel Guild to review your show, to put your torch. Go to angel.com/create.
There you have it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Isaac.
Well, I pray you enjoyed these interviews with those 4 Christian filmmakers. There were so many of them that attended the ICVM Storytellers Conference, and we will bring more of those to you in some future shows. Also, I'd like to thank the students from Bob Jones University that helped us run camera for these interviews. They are Roy Rogers, no, not the original cowboy Roy Rogers. This is actually a student from Bob Jones University, Roy Rogers, Mary McKinley, and Mateo Garcia. We want to thank them for their time helping us run camera for these interviews. Also, if you'd like to see more of these Faith on Film TV shows, just go to our YouTube channel. You can just go to youtube.com/@FaithOnFilmTV. That's youtube.com/@FaithOnFilmTV. And of course, we'd like to hear from you. So if you would write us at faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithonfilmtv@gmail.com. And you can always follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Faith on Film TV. Well, until next week, take care.